College is a place that should be focused on education, not a paycheck. However, the current state of college sports is shifting athletes closer to professionals than amateurs. Until recent years, college athletes have never been able to receive any kind of financial compensation outside of scholarships. However, some people now think that it is necessary to pay these college athletes semesterly stipends. Today, I will be arguing that college athletes should not receive these stipends because of the unequal distribution of revenue between sports, the financial burden it would put on all programs, and the fact that college is for getting an education, not for becoming a professional athlete. The first reason college athletes should not be paid this stipend is because of the unequal distribution of revenue between sports. The vast majority of college programs are actually losing money. And according to an article by Michael Ozanian of CNBC, Ohio State University was the most profitable college sports program in the country in 2024, profiting $280 million. Now, the only two sports that are usually making money are men's basketball and football, and that goes for Ohio State. After I looked into the stats more, College Factual says that Ohio State was very profitable overall, but they also only had two sports actually make any profit. And they ended up being profitable because those sports made so much that it evened out with the rest. And at Ohio State, every other sport besides those two lost money. And an example of two that lost money were the men's ice hockey team, who lost $2.8 million, and the women's basketball team, who lost $4.5 million. Additionally to this, on June 23rd, 1972, Title IX was implemented into college sports. According to the U.S. Department of Education, Title IX states that no person in the U.S. should be denied benefit or subject to discrimination in any education program based on sex. This means that both male and female athletes would have to be paid the exact same stipend, according to Title IX, to uphold it. So the fact that all sports make a vastly different amount of money would make it really difficult to uphold Title IX in the era of paying athletes a semesterly stipend. The second reason college athletes should not be paid a stipend every semester is because of the financial burden it would put on all college programs. Although athletes will be, although paying athletes will certainly be more detrimental to smaller programs, it will also greatly affect the top ones as well. For example, the University of Tennessee was ranked the ninth most profitable program in all of college sports in 2024, according to the same list. However, in an article by ESPN written by Chris Lowe, Tennessee fans are actually now being charged a 10% talent fee on top of all of their sports tickets. This is used to subsidize the programs and end up some of the money will go towards paying the players. So although Tennessee is already very profitable, they still are having struggles getting through this new era of college sports. Another example of this is at Clemson University. According to another article by ESPN, Clemson's doing something similar by adding an athletic fee to their tuition. In this fee, they're charging $150 each semester per each student, and it'll roughly equal out to about $7 to $8 million a year, which is obviously very substantial, and that could very help them in sports, or could help them a lot in the sports world. And Clemson says that these fees are to, in quotes, reflect the institution's commitment to a healthy and vibrant varsity sports program and an investment in the student experience, also said by ESPN. So these two examples show how strenuous these new rules can be with paying players and everything. And if it's stressful for big programs like Tennessee and Clemson, you can only imagine how stressful it would be for maybe a smaller program like Sac State, for instance, who cannot rely on ticket sales to make money, and they might end up being forced to cut entire programs to fund the ones that actually might make a little money. The third reason that college athletes should not be paid a semesterly stipend is because the focus should always be to get an education in college. And becoming an athlete is not necessarily the main reason for going to college. So, in this day and age, that is obviously changing, and college athletes are making more money, and the shift in focus is definitely happening. And in an article by the NCAA titled Benefits to College Student Athletes, It says that actually the number one benefit, according to them, is the college education that they're receiving. And what was interesting is there was a top 10 list, and nowhere in the top 10 was competing to become a professional athlete or advancing your skills. That wasn't even in the top 10 of the NCAA's benefits. So I think that this could be surprising to many, but the focus for the actual company that runs athletics is still to get an education, even though they run athletics. And on top of this, I do support athletes chasing their dreams, but the odds are stacked very against them. According to another article by the NCAA titled "Estimated Probability of Competing in Professional Athletics," they say that overall, all sports combined, it is about a 2% chance of making it pro. And I do think that chasing your dreams and working hard for a difficult goal is very important and is a great lesson to learn. But I think that because the odds are so low, the focus should definitely still be on education because that is most likely where uh, these athletes' career will end up in the future. Um, so yeah, these college athletes are dream chasers, and I think that's part of what makes them really admirable. But I think that paying them every semester would really take the focus away from the athletic side or away from the education side and make it more into a job. And that's not how college athletics should work. And paying them would change the entire culture and it would change everything. So I think that limiting their pay to these brand deals on the side, but um, pay straight from the school would change the entire culture and the focus would be basically ruined. It would turn into a job and it would turn into a professional organization. And so that's why they should focus on education rather than just trying to make more money. Thank you.